So Modern Warfare has changed up the dynamic of what Call of Duty has known this year in a lot of different ways. Things like crossplay, things like ground war, upwards of 32v32, and the rumor that we'll still see even higher numbers throughout the year. The fact that we don't have a season pass or supply drops with free DLC content on the way, and so on, is certainly fact, not really a debate. If you're like me though, a lot of this stuff is really cool and you're welcoming of the change, which in my opinion is for the better. One thing that has been hit or miss with people depending on who you ask has been the lack of a prestige system. Since 2007 in COD 4, a prestige system has been in place that has worked just about identically year over year, save for the deviations of soldier tethered prestiges in Ghost and the recent 1000 master prestige levels. It's always kind of been the same sort of rank up, hit max, reset for a new icon, repeat, no matter how many times it was for, 10, 15, 20, 30 even in some extreme cases, but it's always been some sort of the same situation. But this year that's not exactly the case. There is no traditional prestige system in place, and while it really seems like it's all arbitrary in a sense right now with what officer challenges and officer ranks present, the true nature of them may very well present itself in the coming weeks as we round up for what is said to be an early December release of Season 1 content. Today, I want to discuss with you a theory that I have on what you can expect that emulates a prestige system, but one that isn't the prestige system that you've known for the past decade. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as we go along, and of course, do be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys have not already to stay up to date with daily content here on the channel. But anyways, what we have is a new system in play for those that may not be there just yet entirely, but we have the starting position of level 1 through 55 for the first preseason, if you will, and that's going to run you like normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary with those first 55 levels. This is where you rank up, unlock weapons, perks, lethals, and tacticals, kill streaks, and so on, like you would in any other Call of Duty title. Once you reach level 55, that's your final unlock, and to my knowledge, I think that's the Juggernaut and the weapon drop field order, if I'm not mistaken. But unlike previous years, you won't stop leveling, however, once you reach enough XP to fill that cap on level 55. Instead, you immediately roll over into rank 56 in what is called the Officer ranks, your new system in place for Modern Warfare. From here, you'll never have to re-unlock your items ever again. Once you complete rank 1 through 55 for the first time, you're set for the rest of the game's supported life. You'll receive a weapon blueprint for entering the officer ranks, or I guess completing the enlisted ranks, and then you'll also jump into what the officer ranks have to offer. These are the ranks of 56 all the way up to 155, with a cap that does push you to 156, but it doesn't display that publicly. It goes to 155. When you enter into the officer ranks for the first time, you'll be met with that informative prompt that you'll see on screen right now, in which it details how the new leveling system for the game will allow you to climb the ranks for recognition and rewards further. They also detail a little on the ribbon system, which unlocks with every 10 challenges completed, each offering you an XP boost, and it lets you know that the officer ranks do reset, unlike your enlisted ranks of 1 to 55. You'll reset down to 55 each season, but it also lets you know that your history will be saved throughout the year. But at first glance, even now, well, what does it all do? Because genuinely right now, it looks and feels like the challenges are just little XP bonuses that don't mean to serve any purpose other than to give us a ribbon with each 10 completed. But like, what are they really for? Where are those emblems going to be going? Where are those ribbons once we get those 10 completed? What does that actually give us? You don't get that icon as soon as you unlock it, outside of just simply at the bottom tracking where your progress is overall on challenges in the officer ranks. You don't get to see anything just yet, so what will actually happen? Well, it's of course too early to be 100% sure, but I've been thinking, and to me, the one logical outcome of what happens, unless the biggest bummer of all being that nothing would happen, which I don't see that happening, the only thing that's logical is that it's a prestige system in its own right, but not the prestige system. Personally, I think that in a few weeks, whenever the first season kicks off, we'll see a prestige rank with our numbered ranks just like the normal prestige icon would serve in the past, but instead of it being dictated by the simple play, rank, repeat mechanic, it looks for true mastery of each season. To me, we no longer have that traditional and cumulative of time played of first, second, third, upwards of 10 prestiges and so on like before, but instead the prestige, in air quotes, of completing the batches of 10, 20, 30, and upwards of 100 challenges in a season. So the emblem you end up having at the bottom of your officer ranks, if the season were to end today, that would be your prestige icon for the entirety of Season 1. And I mean, think about it. The official blog, even an FAQ for officer ranks, ends up stating earning 10 ribbons gives you a unique season emblem, with each additional 10 ribbons evolving the emblem. Collecting all 100 ribbons unlocks an animated emblem, which serves as proof of getting the ultimate achievement for that season. Right now, we have no access to any of that stuff, again, outside of just what is on that progress bar at the bottom. So if we get a unique season emblem and it's something something that is meant to be showing off, well, where would we show that off? And same thing also, I'm curious if it's actually going to be an animated emblem, if it works how I think it will, or if that animated emblem is actually just an emblem for a calling card. But I think that each individual emblem or badge is what is going to be that prestige icon, because outside of that, there is no real reward if that's simply just an emblem that you get comparatively to like the mission challenges. Personally, I think that some of them look cool, but am I really going to care or recognize if somebody has an emblem that they had 90 challenges done in a previous season if it's just on their calling card? Not really. And truth be told, I don't look at calling cards all that often. But what would actually stick out to me is, wow, that guy is actually a true grinder, is that if everywhere that their rank showed up, that icon was an indication of how much they went in depth into the game and that challenge system, or that air quote prestige system, if you will, within each season by that rank icon. Now, what you'll see on screen right now, or may have already seen on screen depending on where I tossed it in while editing, is a few concept images that I ended up drafting up, showcasing what this would look like, what would it look like in your barracks, what it would look like in the scoreboard and in game, and it showcases hopefully a little clearer perhaps of what I'm trying to get across, what my theory is. And also, with the first 6 seasons rank icons having been leaked and data mined, they all share common themes, so it's quite possible for them to be sets, with each of them having 10 different levels, of course, 10 icons per 10 challenges, 10 prestiges, if you will. They share a similar design each season for a communal recognition. And to be totally honest with you, I've had more times than I'd care to admit in the past where I was like, what prestige is that guy? I don't know that icon. But following a seasonal design, you nullify any of those questions with the common logic of the higher the complexity, the higher the air quote prestige in a sense, and the completion of the challenges or the mastery of each season. This prestige is a seasonal mastery if it goes how I think it will, where you played, you competed, you dominated, and you completed some of the toughest challenges, or completed the challenges that tasked you to play in ways that you normally never would have otherwise, experiencing the full depth of the game in some way or another. I mean, I've gone through prestiges using one loadout before, so this prestige system would, I think, have more weight to the literal definition of prestige rather than just time played and put in. Probably the sweatiest example I have in span of time that I can give an example of is back in Black Ops 3, there was a double XP weekend at a Nuketown 24/7 playlist live. I went through an entire prestige in one Saturday only using the Razorback. That's not really mastery of the game outside of just, well, I put an entire day into the game and was number 1 on my team every game. Sure, I gained another emblem that day, but it was only indicative of the time put in, not really that I experienced the game in its fullest capacity. So the way that I see this going is that each season will have its own 10 prestiges, though you can't rank up per se with that rank icon in each season. You'd instead be working towards your next season prestige and what you'd end up getting there, sort of how like games with matchmaking ranks end up having a preliminary time frame where you have placements. Think of each season and the challenges as your placement for what you'll get for next season, and that air quote prestige or that icon that may be next to your name. That's the way that I see it, at least, and that's what I think will happen. But other than that, well, is it the best executed system? I think if it follows this system, it is cool in the sense that it's different. I don't think that it's necessarily better, but I think that it's cool that it's at least something different. But the issue that comes up is the fact that each of these only offer XP for each challenge reward, but once you reach 155, XP really doesn't matter. I know that personally I'm at like rank 151, I think, at this point, but pretty soon I'm not gonna have a use for any XP in terms of those challenges when I complete them. Same thing goes for a lot of players that are more than likely already at 155. So that's one thing that I think is just a slight design oversight. I'd love to see something maybe compensate for every 10 challenges or something. Maybe you get a trade-in ticket for a calling card or something like that if you don't use XP. I think that'd be kind of cool, but I don't know if that'd be something that could even work out. But the other big question is this even what players really want? Is it the style that has the longevity to it? Well, personally, I think that yes and no. Like I said, I think this is cool that they're taking the risk in changing it up, something so drastic that hasn't been changed in 12 years, but at the same time, I know people don't want that change. What's cool, I think, is that this offers longevity in the sense of the people that are diehard, the people that really care about their rank, they're gonna most likely come back each season and grind it out and then come back and maybe even try and complete all 100 challenges each season. But at the same time, probably the large majority of the populace that plays the game doesn't really care enough about this particular thing, where you don't want to work that hard for an icon next to your name every single time. In the previous prestige system, you could go about it at your own pace. You could do it whenever. I know that at one point in Black Ops 3, I think I was like 6th or 7th prestige, like 9 months in, because it just felt like, hey, I don't really want to re-unlock my stuff again. And so if I wanted to do it, I could do it again at whatever point and start over on a next prestige at any time. But whenever you're locked into a window of maybe a month and a half to 2 months where you have to grind it out to work towards that one specific emblem you may want, it may not be the best laid plan. So I think that come later in the year, you won't see as many higher ranked icons, perhaps, if that's the case, if we see that dwindling as Call of Duty usually does, well into June, July, August, and September of next year. But for right now, that might be what we end up seeing. But I want to let you guys know about my theory here with this. And of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you see this happening as I explained? Do you see it going a different way? Do you see it maybe not even rewarding players at all? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, anything regarding updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. We got you covered here on the channel. So if any of that is you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected out to the YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. Minus Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.